My name is Shurlteff. I'm the New England coordinator for the John Birch Society. We're here in beautiful Windham, New Hampshire in the middle of June of 2014. And with me is Dr. Pesta, who is the Academic Director of Freedom Project Education. He is a professor of English at the University of Wisconsin in Oshkosh, and he is on a tour exposing Common Core. Oh, that rhymes. I like that. Huh? He's been in over 32 states at this time, at least 32 states altogether, and about 180 presentations, and he'll be here for a few more days giving these presentations. And at one of the presentation, he makes reference to this, you see this picture on the screen here, the student affective sensors. And he talks about a particular question that students get when they're trying to get this data mining. So this little video clip we're doing here is to encourage people who are interested in the right to keep and bear arms, that they should be very interested in stopping Common Core. So let me just throw it over to you, and thank you for coming on in our little makeshift studio. And tell me, should gun owners, not just because they're parents or grandparents, but specifically, how does Common Core relate to the right to keep and bear arms? It looks like it's totally two different issues here.
Well, as we know in doctors' offices, young kids now, because of Obamacare, are being given forms to fill out, and they're given questionnaires. And among the things on those questionnaires, because of the Obamacare legislation, is, are there guns in your house? Do the guns make you uncomfortable? Little kids now, as Obamacare begins to dominate, everything becomes health care, including gun control. Well, it's very much the same with Common Core. We've seen, if we've been paying attention, all these assignments across the country. The little kids coming home where they have to rewrite the Second Amendment, or the Second Amendment's being presented to them in an updated and completely cropped form to suggest that the only ability to own guns belongs to militia, right? So the Common Core assignments themselves are transforming the way the kids are able to see the founding documents. And a little sidelight about that, one of the things that's not going to be taught anymore under Common Core is handwriting, cursive handwriting. There'll be printing, and then there'll be technology, there'll be keyboards. And if you think about the consequences, one of the consequences of that is that our kids will no longer be able to read the founding documents in the cursive, right? So the only way they'll be able to see what the founding document says is in print or electronic versions, which can be easily manipulated. This is where we get back to the gun issue, where the schools in Common Core, the Common Core assignments, are targeting amendments, targeting the Second Amendment, and rewriting them, revising them, and presenting them to students in a very convoluted way. Also, you've got the effective sensors here. One of the things that, in conjunction with things like Obamacare, what the schools now become information data gathering places, in part for the Obamacare healthcare law, and just in part and parcel of the new Common Core technocracy that's coming to bear upon our kids. And we have effective sensors like that. It's not just a matter of asking your kids questions. It's going to be biologically metering your kids. This is an actual Department of Education document that puts these pictures out there.
Now, can the viewers actually go to the Department of Education's website and see this? I know this was a screenshot about a year ago, and I was told that it was taken down, but I think you said it's back up now.
It is, and if you type into Google the government document promoting grit, tenacity, and perseverance, critical factors for success in the 21st century with regards to education. That's the document on page 43 of that document when you find it online. You get these effective sensors, ways they're going to biologically meter your students' responses when they're being asked questions. We have one little girl in New York. This is basically the one on the your far right, is basically a blood pressure cuff that's been adapted for kids' wrists. And kids have been actually pulled into rooms with school nurses and administrators and asked dozens and dozens of questions, including questions about guns, including questions about, are there guns in your house? And would you feel safer if somebody from the state or even the school took those guns from your house? And these are the kind of questions that are being asked to your kids with these sensors. Guns, both in the healthcare legislation and now in Common Core, a direct assault on guns, gun ownership, and more importantly, the schools aren't going to be able to take guns away from parents, but what they are going to begin to do is dramatically influence younger and younger generations to be skeptical of guns, to be completely frightened by guns, and to have a false understanding of what the Second Amendment says and doesn't says, all in the longer objective of getting rid of guns altogether.
Now, you mentioned a question that one of these little girls, a questionnaire, and something that were unrelated about you feel safe at home, and then said, do your parents own guns?
Yeah.
And would you feel safer without those guns?
Would you feel safer if somebody from the school took
those guns away?
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes. So would you suggest that if you belong to the NRA or GOAL or the JPFO or numerous, that this should be on your radar, that you should be involved in getting this out?
Absolutely. As Abraham Lincoln said, the philosophy of the schoolhouse in one generation is the philosophy of government in the next. And we may be one of the strongest gun-owning generations in the country right now. In recent years, the NRA is strong and vibrant, pushing back. But this is really insidious, because however much you cling to your guns and how much we understand our constitutional rights to keep and bear arms, they're going after your kids now in a very specific way to turn them against guns, to make them frightened of guns, to try to prohibit guns on the basis of health and medicine, and now educationally. Your kids are going to be learning at a very young age tremendous misinformation about the Second Amendment, and the fear of guns and the social engineering to remove guns will begin now with these generations of kids who are going to grow up in a climate of fear and misinformation about weapons.
Now, you've done numerous presentations that are on YouTube, so the viewers could actually just put in Duke Pesta Common Core, and lots of good videos would come up.
Sure.
What else, if people want to get a hold of you through the Freedom Project, what should they do?
If you're interested in this kind of information or Common Core in general, visit us at Freedom Project Education. That's FPEUSA.org, Freedom Project Education, FPEUSA.org.
And that's sort of an educational adjunct of the John Birch Society. JBS.org is where you can find information. Wherever you are, it is a place where you can be contacted by local members too. So thank you very much for viewing, and God bless.